here in Pristina, elsewhere in Kosovo, in neighboring Serbia, all of us concerned with one question, only one question: how to make the agreement between Kosovo and Serbia work. That is the agreement we're talking about, agreed in 2 locations at 2 dates in Brussels on the 27th of February, the basic agreement, and then the annex agreed in Ohrit on the 18th of March. Pronounced an agreement that was negotiated with intensive EU and US negotiation and support, complete alignment between the US and EU, and a common position by EU and US officials that this agreement is in fact legally binding, all its provisions are legally binding, and that the effort and focus will be on implementation now. So that's formally where we stand. Informally and contextually, the reality known by everyone in this room and by our friends and colleagues elsewhere in Kosovo and in Belgrade all know that the enormous challenges. Number one, the ambiguity of the agreement itself. The fact that there are gaps, there are elements that are not specified, details not specified, ambiguities, some of them deliberate, that create questions. That's number one. Number two is, of course, the status of the agreement. The fact that it wasn't signed, the fact that there was no handshake between the parties, and contextually, the fact that we hear a stream of negativity about an agreement that was just signed, which is, of course, not encouraging and not what is standard in any successful international negotiation.
We are aware that so far this agreement is trying to be implemented under the huge pressure of United States and European Union. They have put at stake their credibility in this peacemaking effort, I can say. And I hope that in 100 days from now, or 120 days, I don't know how much they have remained, we will have, both countries will complete their obligations which are emphasized by this agreement. The tricky thing is that we don't know how they will look like at the end of the day. The annex is not sufficiently clear, and we don't know how the general agreement will be reflected in the implementation phase, how this will be translated into concrete steps for both sides. What makes me worried it is that there is an agreement, but the political discourse, hostile political discourse, has not changed. And without changing this political discourse, I'm afraid that even if agreement will be implemented, it will result in a bitter atmosphere, and it may increase mistrust between all stakeholders.
But regarding Serbia, I would say that we have time, because Tamara has mentioned this reconciliation. The problem is that I would say not only Serbia, but Serbia the most, we have this kind of victimhood nationalism and the culture memory. I don't think there will be a conflict, though there is a potential. We are now in some kind of occupation by Vucic's media, by his NGOs.